Michael has had a long and storied career in the industry. He's owned and operated a commercial HVAC and mechanical equipment company. He installed his first geothermal system more than 30 years ago and has since sold, designed, and installed thousands of geothermal systems nationwide and abroad. Michael received a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management from Oklahoma State University. He's an Expo board member and has served numerous terms on the Expo Advisory Council along with Expo certifications of Geo Exchange Designer, Installer, and Train the Trainer. In addition to being an Expo board member, Albertson is also currently serves on the board of the Geothermal Exchange Organization. He's a member of the American Society of Heating, Refrigeration, and Air Conditioning Engineers, Association of Energy Engineers, American Military Engineers. It goes on and on like that. So I learned early in my career that there are certain families and individuals that have been associated with the geothermal industry for so long and have contributed so much that they're kind of the rock stars of our industry. One year, shortly after Michael had promoted me to the head of my department, we attended our first Expo together, and we were on our way to the reception. We couldn't get more than 10 feet or so without someone stopping to shake Michael's hand and smile and engage him in conversation. And it was there that I learned that Michael is really one of those rock stars of this industry. It was somewhere around the 10th conversation and handshake that I also realized you shouldn't accompany Michael to the buffet line at an Expo conference unless you want to go hungry. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Michael Albertson, our keynote speaker.
Thanks, Tim. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Welcome to Denver. Whenever you did the presentation of the soil samples and the rocks to Rashawn, he missed something. He thought it was rock candy, so he's already got 2 of them down the gullet. So you might, if there's a medic in the house, you might watch Rashawn here. I appreciate the opportunity just to share a few thoughts. Been around the industry for a few decades, and I love participating in this conference. I see so many people that I've worked with, worked closely with, sold equipment with, designed systems with, installed systems with, tried to figure out how to fix systems with, and so the relationship is really, really dear to my heart. So I really embrace the opportunity to be here once again. A couple of things we're going to cover today from the keynote topics, and my monitor says that I have, 2 hours? Okay, so I'll slow down. No, it's about 20 minutes. But what we're going to cover real quick is, why are we here? Okay? We're going to review obstacles and some opportunities that we've been faced with the past few years and also most recently. We're going to take a look at the energy outlook. I'm going to give you a geo update, Geothermal Exchange Organization update. I'm going to hit a couple topics, excuse me, I'm going to hit a couple topics on IGSHPA as far as review from somebody that's been on the advisory council, been a member at different levels, and then also on the board, and give you an update of some of the accomplishments that Roshan didn't cover. And also a little call to action. So to go ahead and get started, why are we here? We're here to dig in. That's the theme of the conference. What we need to do, if I look around this room, and I know most of you, if I look around this room, we need to use this opportunity to collaborate with each other. This is a time during the year that is not going to happen again where you have the opportunity to sit down with people that have been in this industry for a number of years or decades. You need to share ideas. You need to share best practices. That's going to help us set the stage and figure out how to overcome some of the obstacles that we are all going to see down the road. We need to better understand our market environment, the energy costs. What are we facing with? What's the baseline? You don't ever go into battle without knowing what your enemy is. Okay, you don't come up with a game plan to figure out who your opponent is. We have to understand our business environment. That includes energy costs, some of the trending that's going on, and also some of the regulations and the codes that we live with now and we are going to be expected to work with in conjunction in the future. We need to explore how to better connect with the consumer, okay? We all sit around and we talk about designing these great systems, and you know, some of the systems are monuments. They can be monuments to ourselves. We kind of get hung up in that. But sometimes we lose the ability to connect with the consumer. We need to think about educating and bringing the consumer awareness up. The consumer is our customer. If we design all these great systems and we come up with all these great programs and all these cool tools and efficient ways to drill and install ground loops, it doesn't do us any good if the consumer is not educated and the consumer is not aware of the value proposition that we all bring to that consumer. Okay? Part of that is each consumer, whether it's a commercial customer or a residential customer, has a unique value proposition. Think about it. Some people are kind of living the environment idea. They think whatever they do in their home or whatever they do in their business, they kind of lean towards, I want to do what's best for the environment. Some people are thinking about economics. It's the bottom line. What's the budget going to be, you know, for my building, for my business? What's the budget going to be for my household? I'll share a story I've shared with our team in the past, and I go to a restaurant quite often, and we host some events there. So the waiter knows who I am, and I wear, you know, my garb, and you know, he knows that, you know, I'm with WaterFurnace. And so he came over one night, and I was waiting on the rest of the party to show up, and he said, Mr. Albertson, I just want to let you know how much my wife and I appreciate and enjoy our WaterFurnace system. Okay? So we all have these demographics that we think, what is the demographic of a consumer or a customer for a geothermal heat pump system? We're always thinking, okay, it's 45 to 60 years old. It's a high mean or high income level. They are business professionals. This, and this. We're ate up with those demographics. And here I have a waiter that is telling me how much he and his wife are enjoying the geothermal system that they have in their home. So that piqued my interest. So I sat back and said, tell me about your experience. Why do you have a geothermal heat pump in your home? Well, my wife and I were building our first home. We're planning on having a baby. We had a very limited income. My wife is a teacher. We know we don't pay our teachers enough, right? So he had a long conversation with his builder that he and his wife set his builder straight to let him know that they didn't need the stainless steel appliances that were just going to get Sharpie marks over them when their kids grew up, that they couldn't get the Sharpie marks off. He didn't need the granite countertops that were going to chip whenever they started, you know, playing games in the house, or fancy flooring or anything like that. They were most focused on what is that monthly budget going to be and what is the best way to heat, air condition, and make hot water for their home that they can count on that budget not getting out of whack. Okay? So, again, that is a unique value proposition of a consumer. So let's consider what the demographics are, but let's don't lose face of what reality really is. Another value proposition with the consumers, commercial and residential, is comfort. Some of it's technology. You know, from a technology standpoint, some people want to be able to control their whole house from their iPhone. Some people want to be able to, you know, pull it up remote. Some people want to be able to see some kind of enhanced full color screen that interacts with other things. So technology, okay, another value proposition. And then I think what everybody really appreciates from a value proposition is the reliability of a geothermal heat pump system. The service life of water source heat pumps and geothermal heat pumps is 24 plus years, okay? The tubing that we put in the ground, when we started using polyethylene tubing, we went to the gas industry. This was back in the, the early 80s. We went to the gas industry and we were starting to fuse the polyethylene tubing together and using that, putting it in the ground, and we thought, People are asking, how long is this going to last? We don't have a clue. But it's, you know, it's fused connections, the fusion joint done right, stronger than the rest of the pipe. So it went to the gas industry. Gas industry came back and informed us that the half-life of polyethylene tubing is 200 years. That's reliability. 200 years on the loop, not that we put out warranties for 200 years, but 200 years half-life on the loop material and 24-plus years service life on the equipment. That's reliability. The other part of reliability is these courses that you go to with IGSHPA and the other IGSHPA courses that manufacturers and other folks at different training centers around the country end up hosting, is that does nothing but boost the reliability because of the tricks of the trade and the strength that you guys get whenever you go through those classes, okay? Talk a little bit about the U.S. HVAC market by product. You want to know who our competition is? People ask me for years, who's our competition? They're expecting me to say Florida Heat Pump or Bosch or Trane or American Standard or Climate Master or Intertech or something like that. I don't even go there. Our competition is what you see on the pie chart. Our competition is everything that is not geothermal. So we end up kind of zeroing in on what we think is our market and our competition. The best way to look at that, I mean, you can't even hardly see the piece of the pie that is geothermal. The reason you can't see it on the pie chart is we need to move the needle. We are sitting on, we have earned 0.75% of the HVAC market. 0.75%. So if you look at that little dot, and I was just pulling my hair out, what's left of it, I was pulling my hair out because I couldn't find a target with a smaller dot. Couldn't find the picture. So at 0.75% is the market that we have earned in this HVAC industry. What does that mean? What's our target? What's our competition? Our competition is 99.25% of the folks that are out there playing in adjacent markets. In the 30-plus years that I've been in this industry, one of the things that I've really enjoyed is whenever you had a business owner, he's looking at a building or a campus or an alligator farm or, you know, it's something really goofy, and he comes in and he says, well, is geothermal going to work? It's a challenge. Okay, we've all been in that position. We can do the work and we can do the design and we can make it work. There is a huge market out there. We just need to get off our tails. We need to go out there and we need to realize who our competition is. The water source heat pump GOUS market share. Since 1977, our industry has shipped 5.9 million water source heat pumps into the industry. That is still only 0.75% of the HVAC market, okay? What's frustrating is there's a technology that came into the U.S. from Asia, and they started playing in the market in about 1995. And since 1995, they have secured over 3% of the HVAC market in North America, okay? We've been at it how long? The very first water source heat pump was designed and manufactured by a really good friend of mine, Bob Lodge. I didn't grow up with him, but it was in 1952. And we have been struggling since 1977 to 2017, 0.75% market share. VRF has kicked our tails by almost 3x. U.S. construction spending. These are the spending habits of the U.S. construction market. And we have these slides available for you. If you let us know, we'll just send them to you. It's kind of hard to read some of the fine print on there. But that's where the U.S. is spending their construction money. Okay? Obstacles. What kind of obstacles have we seen in the past and recently? You sit there and you look at year over year, you look at margin, or you look at market percentage and things like that. And you really can't compare 2007 to 2015. There are so many dynamic changes within the marketplace, and then you can't compare 2015 to 2016. Certain things were happening in 2016 that were uniquely different, which are going to be uniquely different to what we've been living with so far for 2+ months this year. But some of those obstacles is consumer confidence, low fuel prices. Commercial buildings have been flat or slow. Residential housings have been flat. Further understand what the energy outlook is. EIA puts a report out every month, and this outlook really lets us know that there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, specifically with fuel pricing. What we're going through right now with the natural gas from a shale ramp up is we've been in a boom production, we've been bust on pricing, okay? So if you would look at the ramp up as far as production from shale, 50% of the natural gas that's hitting our marketplace right now comes from shale. You guys hear about fracking and all that? They're getting that gas out of the shale. And look at the ramp up from 2010 to 2016. And they forecast through 2017. So that's what we're dealing with. 50% of that comes from shale. The other thing, just real quick, natural gas pricing, what's it doing? Propane kind of follows it. Not really close, but natural gas pricing, we're looking at a 20-year low on natural gas pricing. But if you look at the chart, look what EIA is predicting is going to happen to natural gas. Okay? Why is that? If you go back to this slide right here, you're going to end up with a demand. Okay? And now the pricing is going to end up going up, which is going to help us out a little bit. And here's the other thing. The first time since 1956, the United States has exported more natural gas than we have imported. And look what is projected by EIA to happen in the following years. What do you think is going to happen with natural gas pricing? So this is just a quick, we all run these numbers, just going to throw it out to you. This is annual geo energy cost of operation. And it's based on a 4-ton unit installed in a home in Indiana. If you'll look at the very top line, that is the annual operating cost of operation for a 4-ton system in a residence. The top line is propane. Look how volatile that is. If you look at the red line, that's natural gas, if you're conditioning with natural gas. If you look at the blue line, that's a 16 EER unit, air source unit. If you look at the green line, that is a medium range efficiency geothermal heat pump. If you look at the line on the very bottom, that is a tricked out, high efficient, variable speed geothermal heat pump. I want to hit a couple topics on GEO. GEO is the voice of the U.S. geothermal heat pump industry. Advocacy, government affairs, partnership, outreach. Their objectives include sensible public policy, common interests and allies for strength in numbers, as well as public relations and outreach that they perform. They also promote quality in training, certification, and accreditation. I want to make it clear that they don't develop training, certification, accreditation programs and put them out. They promote that. It is in our industry's best interest for the promotion of those training, certification, and accreditation. Some of the things that GEO has done in 2016 is they started working on some initiatives to work with the state associations and also the different states as far as tax credits go and rebates and different bills and GEO advocacy, so on and so forth. So it's been a really good success story from GEO as far as what they're doing, above and beyond of the efforts that they're putting forth for us on Capitol Hill. So I figured tax credits would kind of come up. So I'll go ahead and address it head on. GEO fought very hard for the extension of the tax credits, the residential and commercial tax credits. Now, if you hear somebody talking about 48A or 25 cap D, 48 is commercial, 25 cap D is residential. We kind of got a little cheap shot in December of 2015. We took our lumps. There were some shenanigans, if you can believe it or not, that were going on Capitol Hill. And solar got an extension. We got left out as well as other clean energy technologies. So Representative Tom Reed out of New York State had authored H.R. 5167, and it was a parity bill. Level the playing field, parity. All we want is to be put back into this extension that solar got. So that was in 2016. Due to change in administration, so on and so forth in Washington, that HR was pulled. And in February of this year, Representative Reed reintroduced an HR 1090. He did that in February, and it's going to provide parity with solar, residential, and geothermal, residential and commercial tax credits. So that hits 48A and 25 cap D. It is written so that the tax credits will go through 2021 with a phase out. So we continue to have what we call fly-ins. That's where a group of people from the industry, many of you in the room have participated in them. We go to Capitol Hill. We'll end up speed dating congressmen. We'll have 11, 12 meetings a day. It's an experience. If anybody wants to volunteer to go with us sometime, it's kind of like getting a sip out of a fire hydrant, but it's really, really interesting. So right now we have, last month we met with 40 different elected officials from 20 different states. And I believe right now we have, 39 sponsors? 42. Somebody was busy this morning then. So we got 42 co-sponsors to the Reed bill. GEO has done a really good job of the coalition of several different allies. These allies, you guys will know them, you'll recognize them. They include NRECA, they include National Groundwater Association, National Association of Home Builders, IGSHPA, ACA, and many, many more. And they are meeting with us on the Hill as we go through these meetings. So that is very, very much appreciated. I was thinking of Garen whenever I found this picture, but what will you do? Let me just ask you a question. What will you do if there's no federal tax credit? Okay? Is that what what's that? Okay? There you go. You're going to continue to hit it out of the park. I worked with you guys. I know you guys, and thank you for the answer. That's the plan moving forward. As far as IGSHPA, a couple quick updates on IGSHPA. Just for clarity, what does IGSHPA not do? IGSHPA does not endorse a specific product. By their charter, okay? IGSHPA does not endorse applications, design methods, design methodology that do not comply with the IGSHPA standards. IGSHPA does not participate in local, state, or federal direct lobbying efforts. There's some confusion between GEO and IGSHPA. What do they do? What do they do? Okay? Just laying it out there. What IGSHPA does do, and IGSHPA does really well, this is the best way to throw it out there, and the reason I went ahead and put the different committees that IGSHPA has, along with the chair people, and their contact information, is we're encouraging you to get involved with those committees. What IGSHPA does do by charter, their focus, advocacy, conference, membership, marketing, research, standards, training. Many of you have attended the training so far this week, and international chapter development. IGSHPA made a transition. John mentioned it earlier. IGSHPA made a transition a few years ago, and I want to explain, as a board member, I want to explain why that was done. It's really pretty simple. the members asked for it. Okay? It was done, the transition took place to better serve the membership. The transition took place to allow memberships to have a strong voice. It took place to better accomplish the purpose of IGSHPA. So if you go back a slide with the committees, research and development, training, so on and so forth, that is the purpose of IGSHPA. So the retooling or transition of IGSHPA, that was behind it. How did this happen? It didn't happen overnight. I mean, the first thing that happened is developed a passionate board of directors from the membership. If you spend any time with these guys, they drink, I mean, they're geo junkies. They have the membership's, best at heart. There's no doubt about it. So a passionate board of directors was developed. The second thing is it assembled an advisory council to represent the membership. The board of directors is new. Used to not have a board of directors. The other thing we did is we had a secured, dedicated, engaged, knowledgeable leadership as a liaison with Oklahoma State University. And that would be Dean Ed Kirtley. And Dean, thank you for all your work. Appreciate it. Then the next thing we were able to do, part of the transition, is we appointed an acting executive director of IGSHPA. That's Rashawn. Seen Rashawn up here. He's one over there eating rock candy. Some more transition results, okay? What happened? It fortified, what we did is we went in and we fortified IGSHPA's bylaws. John very, briefly spoke on that. What else did we do? We asked a bunch of questions to the membership. You guys answered, we listened. What did that foster? That fostered an annual conference. It fostered an annual conference that you guys gave us input, direct input on the agenda, gave us direct input on the exhibit, the availability to the exhibits, the timing of the exhibits, the training that is being put forth at the annual conference, and also the time of year. Who would have thunk? We started hearing from a lot of the membership, it's like, man, I really wish we could have gone there, but you always have this in the late fall or early fall. That's the busiest time of year. We can't be there. Done. That's why we're here today. It also enriched the training courses in the curriculum that IGSHPA puts on a weekly basis. Better communication, and most importantly, it allowed the we asked, the you answered, and we listened, allowed IGSHPA to have a clear vision, a purpose, and a mission to serve the membership. I'm not going to hit, I'm running pretty darn out of time here. These are just some of the things real quick, accomplishments of IGSHPA in 2016. 5,000 members, 267 industry professionals trained, 22 different sites across the country, 4 MOUs signed. Rashawn spoke about that briefly. Exhibited or participate in over a dozen national conferences to support the membership, advocacy, and also outreach. This is your IGSHPA. People on the board of directors, advisory council, the committees, they don't mean anything. They work their tails off, but this is your IGSHPA. In this room, we have people from different segments of the industry that are represented by membership that is key to the success of all of us working together and moving forward. That includes architects, engineers, contractors, manufacturers, distributors, utilities, and general associate memberships. Okay? So what do we have to do? We need to collaborate. We need to share ideas. We need to share best practices. We need to share solutions. Takeaways. Collaborate. We had a bumpy road. Okay? So how are we going to get through that bumpy road? Collaborate. Understand our market and the environment. Each consumer has a unique value proposition. Know it, understand it, and respond to it. Consumer education awareness. Where do we start without it? GEO is continuing their efforts. They're working their tails off in Washington and around different states to try to get the needle moved. IGSHPA's working their tail off as well. This is your IGSHPA. There is success ahead. Now I want to do something here real quick. This will be interesting. There are a lot of success stories over the last 35 plus years in this industry, and I can look out here and I can see a lot of geo champions. So I am going to ask anybody that in this room that has designed, that has sold, or has installed a geothermal heat pump system, whether it's commercial or residential, 35 years or longer. That's 1982, prior to 1982. I want you to stand up. Nice. I want you to keep standing. If you're up, you're going to stay up. 25 years. If you installed, designed, or sold a geothermal heat pump system, 25 years or older. 1992, stand up. $15 years, 2002 and prior. 9 years, 2008 and prior. Okay, stay standing. For everybody that is not standing up, I want you to look around the room. I want you to meet the people that are standing up. I want you to hear their plan for success and their plan to grab that opportunity before 2008, okay? They have some tricks, they have some magic sauce, they have some solution. You need to collaborate with these folks and pick their brain. If there's a possibility of working with them, work with them. Some way, somehow. What this group also represents is a group of men and women that were successful in moving the needle prior to the tax credit ever coming out. Okay? Congratulations. Stay standing. Now, if you're sitting and you believe that should there not be a tax extension, will you have a success story? Will you be a geo champion with or without a tax credit moving forward? If you believe you can help move that needle, stand up. I believe we're up for a challenge. Thank you very much. Your success ahead. I appreciate your time.